Alright, welcome back, good people. This video, I'm going to talk about my niche group, the people I market to. They're called the baby boomers. Now, you've heard of the baby boomer generation, right? Let me read just a little bit about why they're called that. Baby boomers, it says, is a person born in the years following World War II, where there was a temporary marked increase in the birth rate. There are varying timelines defining the start and the ending of this time. Demographers and researchers typically use birth years starting from the early to mid 1940s and ending anywhere from 1960 to 1964. It also says that 76 million Americans were born between 1946 and 1964. Now, representing that cohort that is significant in size alone, right? Which means that's a lot of people that was born during that time. Now, this is a statistic that you may know or may not know, but it was kind of an eye-opener for me. It says aging and end-of-life issues. As of 1998, it was reported that as a generation, now, baby boomers had tended to avoid discussing the long-term planning of their demise, which means they didn't take the time to plan about death, right? And I see that so clearly because I'm actually in that generation. So I didn't know that, but now that I know that, I made sure that I wasn't one of those people, right? I made certain that I'm prepared for that, and you should too, especially if you're in that generation and you can do something about it. Now, it goes on to say, however, beginning at least as early as that year, there has been a growing dialogue on how to manage aging and end-of-life issues as the generation ages. It also says, in particular, a number of the commentators have argued that baby boomers are in a state of denial regarding their own aging and death, and are leaving an undue economic burden on their children for their retirement and care. I see that every day. Do you see that? I sure do. So when you are a baby boomer and you have time, but you are not really paying attention to that part of it, like life insurance. Think about that for a second. I share this with my clients all the time. Why wouldn't you get life insurance if you have a job and you can get $10,000 worth of life insurance for less than $20 a month? $10,000 will bury you or cremate you and will not put that burden on your children, because that is a burden. There is a grieving period from the time that you pass away, and we are going to pass away. It is not a matter of if. It is not. Don't leave that up to your children. Don't leave your children have to go through that. And it's like buying auto insurance. After death, it's too late. You don't qualify anymore, right? So don't make that a conscious decision you do with life, especially when you're in that baby boomer generation like I am. Now I'm going to read a couple more statistics, then I'm going to talk a little bit more. But according to the 2011 Associated Press and LifeGoesStrong.com surveys, 60% lost value in investments because of economic crisis. We're talking about people in the baby boomer generation. 42% are delaying retirement. Are you delaying retirement? Well, 25% claim they will never retire and are still currently working. In 2013, the early baby boomer, now this is important, pay attention to this. In 2013, the early baby boomers, depending on the birth years that you used, reached a common retirement age in the United States. Do you know what that age was? Do you know what I just read to you? Let me read that again because I want you to be clear on this. This is 2018 we're in right now, okay? This says in 2013, the early baby boomers, depending on birth years used, reached a common retirement age in the United States. That age was 67. Think about that just for a second. 67. What if you live to be 80, 90? If you don't have any money, or you don't have a system set up to generate money, you're going to be dependent on the system or someone, right? But if while you are where you are right now, in your right mind, in your right, you work your body, you keep your mind strong, your body and your spirit strong, why wouldn't you work on positioning to leave something more so than to take everything when you leave? Because if you are working and when you pass away, someone was dependent on your revenue from working, that's going to be cut off for them. So if you could start your own business, especially the baby boomers, based on what you love to do in your 50s or early 60s, and it's all internet based, online based. You have to travel no place. You just have to learn a few things you don't know right now. Why wouldn't you do that? Affiliate marketing is one of the easiest ways to enter into the game. It takes very little money, almost none of your money, other than the internet charge. That's part of investment. You got to do that, right? You probably have that already anyway. If you have a phone, you definitely have it. So it's not difficult. It's not expensive. It's just you need to take control of the fact that you can do that, or you want to do that. Because if you don't, it's not going to come knocking on your door and say, listen, we need you to do this so you can protect yourself if you live to be 70, 80, 90 years old. Well, that's not going to happen, So pay attention to where you are right now. And it's not for everybody to own a business or to want a business, but if whatever your hobby is, think about this, because this is actually how simple this is. Whatever your hobby is right now. Do you have a hobby? Let's pretend you had a hobby. Okay. Whatever that was, whether it was growing plants, whether it was photography, whether it was bowling, whatever your hobby is, you can build a business around that. Information is a business in the 21st century. You just have to create products and market those products in line with that to a niche, just like I'm niching my people, letting you know what I can help you with, right? That's all you have to do. And boom, you created a business. Now, let's say the first year you don't make but a couple of $1,000. The second year let's say the first year you don't make any money. Zero. I remember when I first started, it took me 3 years before I made any money because I was just learning, and I really just liked doing it because I was trying to get better at it. But I knew I would eventually start to generate money from it because that's what this business does. It generates money, right? But there's so many different ways to make money in this business. That's one of the beautiful things, because if you like speaking a lot, there's ways you can just speak predominantly, right? Now, if you like doing videos a lot, there's ways you can just do videos or create a blog or a podcast, right? All those avenues and more are available to you. But you have to want to do something. You have to want to do something. You have to be willing to learn because you don't know it right now. So just imagine this. If you wanted to know Spanish, but you didn't want an instructor or you didn't want to read anything, how do you learn Spanish? You don't. Which means you really don't want to do it, right? All right. I'm going to read you one more thing about the baby boomers, then I'm going to shut it down for this week because this has been a very good week for me and my system. I'm really thankful for it. And I thank you guys for sharing this opportunity with me. It says healthcare. The density of baby boomers can put a strain on Medicare. According to the American Medical Student Association, the population of individuals over the age of 65 will increase by 73% between the ages of 2010 and 2030, meaning 1 in 5 Americans will be a senior citizen. That's between the ages of 2010, which was 8 years ago, and 2030. There'll be a 73% increase, and those people will be 65 years old. Wow, that is incredible to me. Man, the people are living longer, but are they living wise? Are they living smarter? Are they protecting the next generation? Because if you leave this planet and leave the next generation in debt, guess what? You got to struggle out of that debt to level off, right? Don't leave them in that situation, and only you can make that decision. All right? My name is Larry James. My company is SpeakerLarry.com.